22. That is how many players were drafted before Brock Boeser in the 2015 NHL Draft. Brock Boeser, as I'm recording this video, has 71 goals in 173 career games, which gives him a .41 goals against average, which actually puts him second in this entire draft class, only behind Connor McDavid. Brock Boeser is currently a part of a young, exciting Canucks core that is only getting better as each game passes by. So why did 22 teams pass on Brock Boeser? Well, it turns out that there's actually a very interesting backstory. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about exactly why that happened. And before we start this video, make sure to click that subscribe button for some more hockey content. Brock Boeser, a Burnsville, Minnesota native, grew up with a large passion for hockey from a very young age. And from a young age, Boeser could always shoot the puck. Heading into Brock Boeser's draft year, Boeser captained the United States Ivan team, and heading to this tournament, Brock Boeser's best friend passed away. It took tremendous strength to power through this tournament, and he played extremely well, getting over a goal per game with 6 goals, 8 points in 5 games. Boeser played his draft year in the USHL for the Waterloo Blackhawks, and I personally feel like this time period we saw more of a shift where more scouts were putting an extra emphasis on the USHL compared to previous years, as we're definitely starting to see a higher success rate through the NCAA system. And Brock Boeser this season played extremely well, putting up 35 goals, 68 points through 57 games. And the USHL is also a league that sees less scoring than its Canadian counterpart, I guess the CHL. So these numbers are definitely more impressive than they seem, as Brock Boeser also finished first in the entire USHL in goals this season. And in the spring of 2015, we see a large turning point for Boeser, because Brock was actually asked to join Team USA in the U18 World Junior Tournament. However, Brock turned down this invite because he thought it would be selfish for him to leave his team, as they're right in the middle of fighting for a playoff spot. And this is the same U18 team that also had the names of Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, Colin White, Clayton Keller, and they dominated this tournament, winning gold. And I believe there's a large possibility that if Brock Boeser actually attended this tournament and was able to showcase his lethal shot, his lethal scoring ability, that he definitely would have piqued a lot more interest from a lot of NHL teams, and he probably would have went higher. He wouldn't have fell all the way back to 23 for the Vancouver Canucks, and he would have received way more just exposure than the USHL could have ever exposed him to, NHL teams. And the fact that Brock Boeser makes a conscious decision that he wouldn't receive that exposure so that he can keep battling with his team is just extremely respectable. Playing for the University of North Dakota, Boeser went on to dominate the NCAA, putting up 27 goals, 60 points in 42 games in his rookie campaign, which actually ended up winning him Rookie of the Year. And in his freshman season, he also took home the national championship alongside of Nick Schmaltz and his current teammate, Troy Stecher. Now, let's take a look at all the players who ended up going before Brock Boeser at the number 23 spot. At number 22, the Washington Capitals drafted Ilya Samsonov, the Russian goaltender phenom. Now, Samsonov has only just started his NHL career this season, and he's looking like a potential number 1 starting goaltender. At number 21, the Ottawa Senators drafted another USHL player in Colin White. Now, White had a good rookie campaign, putting up 41 points in 71 games, but he's definitely regressed this season. However, White definitely still has the potential to be a very good, solid top 6 forward. At number 20, the Minnesota Wild draft Joel Eriksson Ek. So they pass on the Minnesota boy and Brock Boeser and draft Eriksson Ek, a highly touted Swedish prospect who's been performing decently, but in more of a secondary scoring role within the bottom 6. Eriksson still has the upside to be, better than a bottom 6 player, and he's definitely been playing better this season with 12 points in 30 games. Next, the Detroit Red Wings draft Evgeny Sveshnikov, brother of Andrei Sveshnikov. With only 20 career games and 4 points on a Red Wings team that should provide ample opportunity for chances to make the lineup, especially for a highly rated prospect. With the next pick, the Ottawa Senators select Thomas Chabot. Now, Chabot has turned out to be an absolute steal, as he's currently projected to be, a very good top 2 defenseman for the Ottawa Senators. The Winnipeg Jets then select Kyle Connor, who has been excellent and is on pace for his 3rd straight 30-goal season for the Jets. Now, Connor has always battled closely to Boeser in the USHL and then later on in college hockey. At number 16, the New York Islanders find another gem in Matt Barzal, and Barzal, of course, went on to win the Calder Trophy, and he's currently a crucial piece to this New York Islanders success on a team that doesn't have, obviously, John Tavares. And the next 3 picks are actually owned by the Boston Bruins, who actually shipped out Dougie Hamilton and Milan Lucic to acquire somehow 3 picks in a row. At number 15, they drafted Zach Senyshyn, a prospect who is actually projected to be in the 2nd round. So a very big jump up here. They skipped on, obviously, Barzal for a second round talent who has yet to make the Boston Bruins lineup. Now, he does have 3 points in 6 career games, and he still definitely has some upside here, but definitely a bit concerning. And the whole draft board was really shocked when they kept passing on all these highly touted prospects for players who were considered off the board picks. At number 14, they drafted Jake DeBrusk, who has panned out to be a great talent who can put up numbers in the 30-goal range. And with the number 13 pick, the Bruins draft Jacob Zipporah, who has yet to play a single NHL game, but he has been playing really well in the AHL. Next, the Stars draft Nhl Draft. Now, a great AHL production, and he's finally getting his chance to play in the NHL this season with 10 points in 30 games, so definitely still some upside there. At number 11, the Florida Panthers draft Lawson Krause, and Krause is no longer a part of the Panthers organization, as he's actually shipped out to Arizona as kind of a cap dump alongside of Boland for some picks. And Krause definitely has the potential to be a player reminiscent of a Tom Wilson, and I believe this is definitely a great thing for this young, exciting Arizona team. At number 10, the Colorado Avalanche draft Mikko Rantanen, and Rantanen has been an absolute force with the Colorado Avalanche, and he's just been a match made in heaven for Nathan MacKinnon. The San Jose Sharks then drafted Timo Meyer, and Timo Meyer has been great for the Sharks, 30 goals last season, and he has kind of regressed this season, especially when they're missing a guy like Joe Pavelski, but he definitely still has the potential to be that number 1 winger. At number 8, the Blue Jackets draft Zach Werenski, and Werenski had a fantastic rookie campaign with 47 points as a defenseman, which is definitely just some great production, and he is arguably the most consistent defenseman we've seen throughout this entire draft. At number 7, the Flyers draft Ivan Provorov, and Provorov did have a down year last season. However, he has bounced back extremely well this season, and he has the makeup to be a very good top 2 defenseman. At number 6, we probably see one of the biggest letdowns of this entire draft when you consider the surrounding talent. Now, he's not a bust or anything, but just when you consider, the surrounding talent. The Devils draft Pavel Zacha, who again has been pretty underwhelming. A career high 25 points in 60 games last season, definitely not bad, and he definitely still will be a good piece for this Devils future. At number 5, the Carolina Hurricanes draft Noah Hanifin, and then Hanifin was actually then later traded to the Calgary Flames for Dougie Hamilton, who was also part of the Bruins deal. Now, Hanifin has been a very solid, consistent top 4 defenseman, and I feel like we may just be on the verge of a potential breakout season for Hanifin. At number 4, the Toronto Maple Leafs draft Mitch Marner, and Mitch Marner, of course, has been developing into one of the top wingers in the entire NHL. 94 points last season, and a very promising future. With the 3rd overall pick in the 2015 NHL draft, the Coyotes draft Dylan Strome. And Dylan Strome did not mesh very well with the Coyotes system, and then he was later on traded to the Blackhawks for Nick Schmaltz. Now, this transaction has definitely proved to be very beneficial for both sides, and has been especially good for Strome as he bounced back very well after making this deal. At number 2, the Buffalo Sabres draft Jack Eichel, and Jack Eichel has been a franchise centerman for the Buffalo Sabres, who is finally seeing his big breakout season. 50 points in 35 games, on track for well over 100 points this season. And finally, with the 1st overall pick in this draft, the Edmonton Oilers make no mistake in drafting Connor McDavid, a generational talent who's been racking up hardware and is currently on pace for well over 130 points. The 2015 NHL Draft is proving to be one of the deepest drafts we've seen in NHL history, and as I record this video, we're only 4 years out from the actual draft. And because this draft was so deep, this of course played a large role on why a player like Brock Boeser slid so far, because there's just so much talent to choose from. And NHL as a sport, especially because they're drafted only at the age of 18, it's just a sport where, you can find so many gems within the draft because every player's development curve is just so different. And because of this, it has definitely made a lot of very interesting cases like Boeser, where players who just seem like obvious stars like Boeser, Pasternak, Sebastian Aho, who's actually also in this draft, they just get skipped on. And it's very interesting, and it's really fun to make these videos kind of, going over who actually went ahead of them. And another large factor that also led to Boeser's fall is the Boston Bruins drafting 3 players who are also considered off the board picks. And of course, when 3 players go off the board, and Jake DeBrusk, Zipporah, and then Senshin, it pushes a lot of other prospects down the rankings. Brock Boeser today is a potential 40-plus goal scorer who's a part of this very exciting young Canucks roster. And Brock Boeser has battled a lot of adversity throughout his career, and he's really mentally strong. He's a gifted goal scorer who will continue to improve and develop alongside of some other Canucks phenoms and guys like Pedersen and Quinn Hughes. On a side note, if you guys haven't watched that video, Building Brock, it's actually on YouTube. I really recommend going and watch it. It's just a fantastic video. And also I want to give a big shout out to O Nyquist and Dom2K, as they've also done a really good job with this type of video structure. But anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, I appreciate the support so much recently. Our channel's been growing so much. I've been kind of shifting up the content on this channel. For a long time I was kind of focusing in on one team, and I've really wanted to change up the pace of this channel. I love covering all channels. I love covering topics just like this or my redrafts. I have so much fun doing it. They take a lot of effort. Like I think my last redraft video, script writing, video editing, graphic creations, it took well over 15 hours. And when I work full time, because I'm a full-time marketer, it can be very tough to make these videos, but I do have a blast making them, and I love seeing the great positive reception. So with that being said, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Lots more hockey content to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later.